All right. So we are live today on the T Podcast. Like I say, it's going to be a good episode. It's always a good episode. Today we have James Dupré, depending on where you are. It's said differently. I've grown up saying it Dupré. I think it's Dupree. Is that the little accent mark?
Dupré.
Okay, Dupré. He is a country music artist who has quite the experience and history in music, and also in the area. We're going to be talking about that. He spent some time in Nashville. Now he's back home and still doing some amazing work. So we'll be talking about that in a little bit. Our studio sponsor today and for many episodes in the past has been Optimized Generator People. So if you're looking to power your home with confidence during any outage, especially during hurricane season, it can kind of get a little sketchy during power outages, and some people rely on these mobile generators. Well, Optimized Generator People specializes in reliable home standby Generac generator solutions, which is whole home generators. Basically, it's fixed outside your house and runs on natural gas. And when the power goes out, the power comes right back on. It's kind of cool. And then you're the only one in the neighborhood with lights on. So envy is real on that one. So they're great people. They have great expert service, tons of awards. Control your power, control your life. OptimizeGP.com. That's their website on the screen right there. And and with that, enjoy the episode. All righty. And before we get the conversation started, our presenting sponsor is Chase Group Construction. They have been a sponsor for years and really appreciate them. They build a ton of great things. They are building a ton of great things, and they are design build firm. So if you're looking to build a business from the ground up or renovate a business, you're going to want to check them out. Their website is chasegroupconstruction.com. Their logo is blue and orange. You can't miss it. If you've seen the sign, you'll recognize it right away. So check them out. Again, great local people, and they're supporting local, and we really appreciate them. So thank you, Chase. All right, so James, welcome to the T Podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man. I'm excited because you and I, we went to the same school in the same little, it's not even a town. It's like just a place that had a name.
Yeah, it's unincorporated.
Yeah, unincorporated. Bayou Chicot.
Yeah.
So I want to, just kind of let people know a little bit about you if they haven't heard about you, which at this point, I think most people have heard about you to some degree, whether that be from some of your TV appearances or you play in like certain venues around the area. But you're originally from the Bayou Chicot area.
Yeah.
And I'm genuinely curious, what happened? Because people usually in the Turkey Creek Bayou Chicot area, they go into highlining. Mm-hmm. They go into oil field lumber. Yep. Cutting trees down. That's the extent of like most people's career paths. Yeah, and you went to Nashville. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and it didn't happen overnight, of course, but I graduated in 2002, and actually, Bayou Chicot High School is not even there anymore. It's it's an elementary school, but I went to ULM after high school, and for meteorology, I wanted to be a weatherman. But music was always a big part of my life, and were you in band in high school?
I was never in band.
Okay, so I was in band, from like fourth grade,
okay.
and we were, music's always been sort of in my life, and I did want to move to Nashville right out of high school, but I just thought, well, that's just a crazy dream, nothing's ever going to happen. Plus, I was just kind of terrified of the idea of performing in front of thousands of people. I had never done that before. So decided to go the weather route. I went to ULM, and while I was there, I was there for 2 years. While I was there, I joined a band and started kind of getting used to performing in front of people. And after that, I was like, I love the weather. I'm not going to end up working at the National Hurricane Center like I thought. I'm gonna go to Nashville. I'm gonna focus on music. And so I came back home.
Yeah.
Moved back. Well, actually, I lived in Eunice for a little while, and my dad's a paramedic with Acadian Ambulance. So I decided, well, I'm gonna have to get a job while I'm working on my music. So ended up working for Acadian Ambulance for 6 years.
Yeah, I mean that felt like at least for the people that knew your family, that was like, oh, that's the path they're gonna go, because your dad. As long as I've known your family, your dad's been a paramedic. For years.
Yep.
With Acadian Ambulance. I mean, like,
yep.
We just like, all your family is just gonna be Acadian Ambulance people.
Yeah, and actually, he just retired from Acadian after 35 years. But my youngest brother Ashton is also a paramedic with Acadian right now. So it is a family thing.
Yeah. So okay, you're going to ULM for meteorology. At what point did you realize that meteorology wasn't a thing? Why meteorology? You were in band in high school and even in college. What possessed you to even think that meteorology was going to be your thing? Did you actually like weather that much?
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember like probably 8 years old when Hurricane Andrew hit, and I was fascinated. I was hooked after that. I remember watching Dick Farrow and Rob Perillo, and I was like, I'm hooked. And so it really became, I had, other kids my age had like, their favorite rock band posters on the wall. I had hurricane tracking charts on my wall in my bedroom. Okay. Huge weather nerd. But, so I just figured, music was always my first love, my first passion, but weather came, in a close second. So I did the safe route, and that's why I went, for meteorology.
Yeah, clearly the safe route, because a lot of people that like music to the points where they are considering going to create a career out of it, it's harder than you would think. I mean, today I think it could be a little easier with social media, and there's some advantages there. But historically, before social media, like, you had to move out. You had to go to a bigger city and almost live as a homeless person for years just to even get noticed, hoping that you break it big.
Yes.
I mean, for you, being in a small little country town, I mean, we grew up when social media was kind of starting to really come through. I think Facebook was created in 2004. YouTube was, I think, 2005, 2006. And so there was a whole world starting to open up there. You took advantage of that.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I first started on MySpace.
Of course.
For like a little, about a year or so, I put out a few videos on MySpace. And then I decided to try out this new thing called YouTube. And that's really where the traction started picking up. I ended up being invited on the Ellen Show because of my YouTube channel. So, that was really where I first got started.
Yeah, man. So, okay. I remember, I know, I feel so old thinking about this now, but I remember when you were releasing videos on YouTube, and this was just before 2010, like between 2006 or 7-ish, in that zone. And you were creating these videos, and they were actually getting viewed a decent amount.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, dude, this is actually cool. And I'm like, I know this guy. Like, I don't know why I thought it was so fascinating to see you getting a lot of views on YouTube. I was like, man, that's weird. Like, how come what can I do to get to hit it on YouTube? And of course, I didn't do anything for years and still really haven't done true YouTube-esque stuff.
Yeah.
But I know you mentioned Ellen. There was, in the Ellen episode, and you can correct me if I misunderstood this, she and her team actively searched talent on the internet and would bring in different talent. Is that what happened in your case?
Yes. A producer of the show reached out to me on YouTube, and I thought it was like a spam message at first, But basically, they wanted to know if I could be there next week, the week after, and
Like literally, the week before they were like,
Yeah.
"Hey, can you be here next?" Like what?
yeah. So I was working with Acadian at the time, so I was like, I'm gonna have to ask my boss, but I think he'll let me off, to go to California. So yeah, I did, and she was extremely nice. I mean, just so friendly and funny, of course, just as she is on her show. But I got to meet John Corbett, who's a great actor and musician as well, and Miley Cyrus was also on that episode.
Oh wow! So you met Miley?
I did. Yeah.
Wow.
She was, I think, 16 at the time.
Yeah, she was a different type of Miley at that time.
Yeah, she was still on
Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana. Yeah.
Dude. Okay, so you get the call or the communication from Ellen, and you obviously thought it was spam. I would think it was spam too.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, oh no, this is not real. How did your parents take it? Like you were probably still living with your parents, or maybe might have been on your own at that time. I'm not really sure the time frame, but like, how did your family?
I was in my early 20s, so I had my own place.
Okay.
My parents were thrilled, of course. I mean, they were super proud. I remember my mom worked at the hospital in Ville Platte, and she said every TV on the whole hospital was on whenever it aired. So it was a really big, proud moment for them. I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. So I've always wondered why Matchbox 20. Why
not?
I know, obviously it's a great band. I love Matchbox 20. It was one of my first CDs ever. Not my first album. My first album was on cassette, and it was Aqua. And if you know Aqua, just let me be. But Matchbox 20 was my first, like, I guess, CD, but like rock type album. And it's a great one. But like, when you had an opportunity to sing any song, and you were, from what I can tell, still leaned in a country zone in that time. Matchbox 20 is not country.
Right.
Like, what? I guess, what were you thinking? Like, were you nervous, and so you were just kind of thinking of all the songs that you liked? Like, what made you pick 3 a.m.?
Well, it was actually suggested by the Ellen producers. I had done a 3 a.m. video. Cover video on my YouTube channel, and so they basically had like a short list of songs that they saw that I did on my channel, and so 3 a.m. was one of them, and New Orleans Ladies was another one.
I remember that one.
LaRue, yeah. But yeah, so that's how I ended up doing 3 a.m., which I'm happy about that choice. I love the song. I've always loved Matchbox 20, and I remember Rob Thomas tweeted about it or something. I guess Twitter was around. Yeah. He tweeted about it after it aired, which I thought was so cool.
Okay, so we have a couple more minutes to hang out and on this topic before I get my next sponsor. What was it like after that show aired? Obviously, it probably didn't air until several weeks, maybe a couple of months after you did it,
I believe
right?
it was like a month or so. Yeah.
Okay. At that point, I feel like the whole world, at least our world in South Louisiana, was like, oh my God, this little guy from Turkey Creek, Bayou Chicot area made it onto the Ellen show. Like, Ellen show that was like, I want to say close to peak Ellen at that time, in that zone.
Yep.
What was your life like with your friend group and your family at that time? Like, were you signing autographs? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, it was very exciting, and I was just getting started performing. I had a duo thing I was doing with a guitar player buddy of mine, Zach Sanner, here in town, and we had just started playing gigs around Lafayette, like at the Tap Room, and that before I even started playing at Cowboys, really. And that's really after the Ellen show, I got a full band. I started playing a lot around town, and Cowboys was probably my main. If anybody our age thinks back to about that time, they probably saw me at Cowboys. But it was just it was a very exciting time, and of course, right after that, like maybe I think it was that same year I ended up moving to Nashville.
So about what year was that?
2010.
2010. So yeah, same time Ellen happened.
Yep.
Okay. So the Ellen show airs, you know, everybody's freaking out. Obviously, at that point, your talent scouts could have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm only assuming that you had somebody reach out to you like, hey, we saw your performance. You know, we'd like to maybe talk with you and like see if this is something you're interested in. Like, did that happen?
Yeah, I ended up getting an offer of a record deal from Warner Music Nashville, and that's essentially why I moved to Nashville at the time. And I had put out an album independently that they bought during the, you know, with the deal, and right after they bought it, it became unavailable. They basically took it off the market, off of streaming and everything. So the people who bought that album while it was available for 3 months or whatever in 2010, that's the only people who have heard those songs. And what's interesting is that's the album that I'm putting out this summer is basically a re-release of those songs. So I'm excited to finally put it out there, and you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your first self-published album was essentially never heard by the masses.
Exactly. It was mostly my local following at that time who probably bought the CDs and everything. So, you know, if you know, I'm going to play one of those songs a little bit, and you know, it might sound familiar to a few people, but it's basically the rest of the world hasn't heard these songs. So, yeah, it's old to me, but it's new music, you know.
Yeah, that's so weird to think about too. Yeah, with it being old for you. Okay, I want to go ahead and use this opportunity to get in my last sponsor, and it's an appropriate sponsor. It's the Music Academy of Acadiana. If you're looking to get into music, speaking of, you could take the route that James did if you want to. you know, learn and promote yourself on social media. You can still do that, obviously, if you learn music at the Music Academy. But the Music Academy of Acadiana can help you with learning music. You know, if you have an interest in it, let's say, you know, you like to sing a little bit, and somebody have told you that you have a voice. Well, consult with the Music Academy of Acadiana, because you might have a voice, but you also might have other hidden talents. Like you might have a knack for guitar or violin, or maybe you like drums, or maybe you're just a behind the scenes person and you want to learn audio production. They have that there. They do have an award-winning in-house recording studio. So lots of well-known people in the community actually record their albums there too. So if you learn music there and you evolve and really grow, you can actually record an album there, which is really cool. So check them out, musicacademyacadiana.com. They are a great local sponsor, founded by Tim Benson, a UL Music School graduate at UL Lafayette. So really, really great school. Can't say enough about them. They're great. A lot of students in and out each month. So get in now while you can. All right, with that, let's get on with the conversation again. Okay, so you mentioned the song. So I guess if you want to take this opportunity, I guess right after this sponsor to play something.
Yeah, sure.
I'll let you take the floor.
Yeah.
And set you up there. So this is something that doesn't happen very often in the studio, where we have an actual live performance. I did have one other episode that that has happened, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit.
All right. So this one is called. This is probably one of my favorite songs on the album, and this one's actually going to be the new single coming out a week from today on what is it, July 18th. It's called All Right Tonight. I woke up this morning in my memory again. I got lost in way back when you woke up by my side. night when I left the house just took me back where we went south, and we made each other cry. But I'm alright tonight. I'm alright tonight. I can't stand to think of you with anybody else. There ain't a bottle or a bar so far that seems to help. Today was not a good day to convince myself that I'm alright. Hey, but I'm alright tonight. I guess I really should have called before. I showed up drunk at your front door. I had to see with my own eyes that you're alright tonight. You're alright tonight. I can't stand to think of you with anybody else. There ain't a bottle or a bar so far that seems to help. Today was not a good day to convince myself that I'm alright. Hey, but I'm alright tonight. I don't want a cup of coffee. I ain't got a lot to say. I don't really need to come inside, girl. Let's save it for a rainy day. Hey, 'cause I'm alright. I'm alright tonight. I don't really wanna kiss you. I'm alright tonight. Baby, I don't really miss you. 'Cause I'm alright tonight. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright tonight.
Wow, man, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff. So that is one of your earlier songs that fewer people have heard,
Correct. Yes.
and it feels like it's a song that you've been working on recently. It feels like it feels new.
Well, and thank you for saying that, because you know, at the time in 2010, I really honestly feel like you know, we're my style is more traditional, and at the time in 2010, bro country, you know, the term bro country was really big and popular, and the traditional thing wasn't really happening anymore. And I think that you know, thankfully, it's kind of going a little bit back more towards the traditional side. And so I think this album will actually feel still very relevant and new, you know, current.
Yeah. So when you say traditional, I find that an interesting thing, because for me, traditional country, and I think the majority of people will agree when I say this, but for me, traditional country, for me, is 90s, like late 80s, 90s, George Strait, of course, you know, the Conway Twitties of the world, and you know, all the Keats that are out there, but there's all the Keats, but you know, Alan Jackson, Toby Keith, you know, rest in peace. There's a bunch of music, country music, that came out in the 90s that solidified for me, and then obviously that's just a natural path of growing up, and that's what you grew up you're listening to in your like early teen to early adulthood, and so that's what feels right for you. Other people may say, oh, you know, no, 70s, 80s, that was the right time. But for you, what is, when you say traditional, obviously bro country, I know, like cruising down the street with your windows rolled down, and you know, that's bro country. What is that, Florida Georgia line?
Yeah,
that feels like bro country to me.
Yeah.
I think Jason Aldean kind of hovers over that line of like semi-traditional?
Yeah, possibly. I think that Aldean specifically has a lot more of a rock edge to him, which I love. I'm an Aldean fan, and and he still consistently puts out hit after hit, and it's anyway.
I know. Yeah.
I wish I could figure out that whatever formula that he has, but yeah.
I don't know what the formula is. I mean, that's the same thing with in general social media and people trying to hit it big. Is like they'll see someone create something that's very similar to what maybe they've created, but for whatever reason, their video, their song, or their movie blew up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, well, what about what I did didn't quite hit?
Yeah.
Like, and you can rack your brain around that all day long.
Yeah, all day long.
When it comes to working with people like Warner Music in Nashville, what advice or what knowledge did you and are you still learning from them that guides you into creating songs that will be relevant and for you and something that you relate to, but also that could relate to people outside of your sphere and essentially become a potential hit? Like how do they work with you on that? Like tell me a little bit about the making of.
So when I first started going to Nashville, even before I moved there, I was that they set you up with co-writes basically, and what that is you go in a room at a publishing company, or it could be anywhere, anybody's house, whatever, and you get together with another writer or a team of writers, and you just write, and you set up an appointment to write for 3 hours, and you may come out with something good, you may not come out with anything at all, and it's just one of those things that you just do it day after day after day, and hopefully you'll accumulate at least a few good songs. But I did that for a long time, for quite a few years, and I had the opportunity of writing with so many great writers, big hit writers, and I think the biggest things to come out of that is I feel like everybody in Nashville writes to a certain formula, and it's I'm not just saying like verse chorus bridge, which is kind of how it goes, but I guess for me personally, I've always felt like I come out with better songs when I write solo. And there are exceptions to that. I have written some really good songs with other people, but I think the writing process when you're co-writing is I tend to not be as aggressive or assertive with my ideas, and where I let the other writers kind of take over, and I just kind of throw in my bits here and there. So at the end of the day, I feel like it was 33% me, and then 66% the other writers.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's how it goes a lot of the times, but I don't know. I like solo writing a lot.
Yeah. So, and you're still with Warner Music Nashville, right?
I'm sort of I have a distribution deal with them
Got
right
it.
now, which is how this album's going to be coming out, these songs. So.
Yeah. Cool. So you like having the ability, and I think most people do, especially artists. I mean, having other people interject their creative sense with yours sometimes can clash. Obviously, that is something you alluded to. Do you like where you are now with music and versus 5, 6, 7 years ago?
I think right now I'm in sort of like I feel like I'm in cruise control.
Okay.
Because I'm working on this album that's coming out, and I'm also trying to book dates for next year. And but right now I have a full schedule for the fall, and so I'm just kind of taking it day by day, really. And I don't really know. I don't even know what the next year holds. So it's just kind of one of those the life of an artist, I guess, the life of a musician. You really don't know what's happening next. But I think that I feel very good about where I am. And, let's say 10 years ago, I was on The Voice, and that was a very exciting time, and I look back to 2015 and think about how much I've grown since then as an artist and as a person. And, so I really do think that I'm in a good place, and I'm very happy with what's going on.
Yeah. And now you're living back in the Lafayette Parish area. So essentially you're back home.
Yep.
How was living in Nashville? Because that seems to be the path for a lot of country music artists. Of course, Nashville is kind of like the Los Angeles of country music. And it's actually becoming a really popular place for a lot of people, not just country artists, but like people like Theo Von. They have, their studios set up there, at least from what I understand. I know they move out a lot, but Tennessee in general is becoming kind of the next wave of where people want to move to.
Yeah.
For you lived in Nashville for 10 years, you said?
Yes.
Okay. How was living there? Did you miss home to any degree? Did you feel like home in Nashville? Did you feel like living in Nashville helped you as an artist? Like, tell me a little bit about living there.
I did feel at home in Nashville. And Nashville's an it city. I mean, it is like, there's a reason that people are moving there in droves. I mean, the living there was obviously a lot of fun. Lots of, you bump into other country singers, you never know where, and you could be, like, I remember going to the Tin Roof on Demonbreun and, seeing Chris Young in there all the time. Like, he was in there like all the time,
Yeah.
And so, just things like that. It's just completely normal, but it's just it got very expensive. And, like I said, the population was exploding. It still is. And, that everything just got really expensive. And not to mention the traffic and everything else, it's just it's a growing city. So, but a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed my 10 years there, and I just got back from there yesterday, actually. But
nice.
Yeah, it's good to be home. I'm happy to be home by the family and everything. But I still get to visit and go up there a few times a year. So
yeah. Okay. So obviously Nashville's good for country music. Are you familiar with? There's a ton of local musicians from this area that have gone to Nashville, but one in particular, and I'm pretty sure you've heard of her name, Sarah Duga.
Yeah.
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 So I had her on probably 4 or 5-ish years ago, and she actually played a song too, which I thought was amazing, and she did really good with it. And she moved to Nashville to pursue music, and I see her on TikTok lives all the time, basically filming her sessions on stage at a whatever venue, and it's like you can tell it's a live venue. And she is, decked out to the nines, the outfit, very bejeweled kind of sense. The hair is done, the makeup's done up. Do you communicate with artists like that? Like, what is your relationship with other artists in that realm?
Yeah. Sarah and Kristen Foreman's another one. A lot of artists that are from here that were in Nashville while I was there. We kind of were like drawn together. You know what I mean? We did a few things together, and Clay Cormier's up there now, and so it's good to see that there are a lot of local artists that are in Nashville doing their thing, and so yeah, we try to stay in touch and do things together when we can.
Have you ever do you ever collaborate or
we have
do songs and stuff?
Yeah,
together?
actually, it was I think during COVID. Actually, we had did this virtual concert. It was like a virtual in the round kind of thing, which was really fun. And we've not so much written together, not me anyway, but we've done like writers rounds and things like that together.
Yeah. Um, so in that same vein, like with local artists moving to Nashville to seek, potential in the career of music, are there any artists from this area that you know of that seemingly have gotten pretty far, maybe as far as you or farther? Like, and what is your take on that? Like, obviously, congratulations, like kudos to them for doing that. But like, do you have any advice for them? Like, tell me a little bit about the relationship and the optics of seeing someone who's basically not to say an equal, but like in the same career path, moving at a different direction or different pace.
Well, a good example of somebody who's really doing well right now is Kylie Fry. I mean, she's I know she's doing a lot of Texas stuff, but she's also in Nashville, and she is just killing it out there, and it's really great to see, somebody from around here who's doing so well. So I hope that she keeps going.
Yeah, Kylie Fry.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have to look her up because I'm familiar with Foreman, and then you said Clay Cormier. I think he just actually played at the July 4th event in Youngsville.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, I have to look these guys up. And then I had another local artist, Dustin, on a few weeks back, and we were talking about you, and that I was going to have you come on, and it was funny because I remember moving to Lafayette in 2010, which is weird because I feel like 2010 is like a very monumental year for you and then myself. Like we all made a lot of moves because that was kind of at that time. I don't know what it was with 2010, but some big moves were made. And then I remember seeing him living in the same apartment complex that I had moved into. I was like, that's kind of really cool. So yeah, when you think about music, especially country music, a lot of people associate it with, the typical losing a dog, the whole thing. If you play it backwards, you get your dog back, your car back, your wife back. Why does country music seemingly have that lure of not depression, but the feeling of like, I've lost a lot, but I'm still holding on.
Yeah, I think I don't know for sure the answer to that, but I think it has a lot to do with the history of the blues and country. I think kind of came from the blues, and the blues are sad, and and it's real. It's about real life. I think that's what country music had basically become, was just everyday stories and about everyday life and things that people could relate to. You know what I mean? I love Sinatra, but a lot of people can't relate to what Sinatra sings about. You know what I mean? So I think country music has a lot to do with that.
Yeah. All right. So you've been working with some pretty interesting people, and you've actually done a really cool song, or was part of the creation of a song. And I'm bringing this particular thing up because I feel like every episode I talk about this one particular topic, and I like to get people's thoughts on it. Same thing with Dustin. I asked him about it, and he dabbles in it. AI. Okay. So you recently did I don't know if you want to call it a collaboration, you're connected with a song that was released by Randy Travis recently, and he hasn't released a song in 10 plus years.
Correct.
Okay. And this song was created with the help of AI. And before all of you AI hating snobs out there say anything, Randy Travis, according to what I understand, signed off on the project and how it sounds and everything. But you had a big part in assuring that the vocals in the song sounded like Randy Travis, and worked. Like, what was it like working with Randy Travis? And you work with Randy Travis a lot. I see all the pictures and videos all the time, and you're always with them, I feel like. What was it like working with Randy Travis, and especially in the creation of what is essentially a first in music that we know of?
Yeah. So back up a little bit. I met Randy. So Randy had a stroke in 2013, which he left him with aphasia, which means he can't conversate. And so he left him unable to sing. And so he basically he was unable to record and put out new music for quite a few years. And in 2012, we had actually worked together on a movie called The Price. And this was like months before his stroke. And so that's how we first met, and we started working together, and just became friends, you know. And so at the same time, I was working completely unrelated to the movie thing and anything else. I was working with Randy's longtime producer, Kyle Lenning, who produced It's All Happening, my new album. So when I first got signed on with Warner Music Nashville, I was working with Kyle Lenning. We were recording a whole bunch of songs. Well, one of those songs was Where That Came From, the song that Randy just put out with, using AI.
And what year was this that you started working on it?
2011.
That song?
Or 12, somewhere around there, yeah.
Okay.
So it was, so we recorded it, and it was never released. And that was one of my favorite songs that we had done out of all of them. And so I thought it would be forgotten about forever, Well, last spring, I got a call to go to Nashville for a meeting for the tour, the Randy Travis tour that we're doing. And so I was like, okay, cool. It was funny because I was like, why couldn't we just do a Zoom meeting?
Yeah, right.
But, I'll go. That's fine. So I get there, and we go to Kyle's studio, and, there's a camera crew there. And I'm like, and it's like CBS. And I'm like, what's going on? And, I just figure, well, maybe they're doing a story about the tour. Okay. So then he sits me down. He's like, I want you to hear something. And so they start playing the song Where That Came From. And I recognized it, but when the vocal started, it sounded like Randy and not me. And I was like, this is fascinating. So I thought he had recorded it years earlier, and I just didn't know about it. But then as I'm listening to it, I figure out, okay, he's singing it exactly how I sang it. And so I started putting two and two together, and I figured it was AI. And so after it was done, they asked me how I felt about it. And I was like, this is amazing. I mean, I didn't even know this was possible. And so they were like, we want to put this out as a new Randy Travis song. Are you okay with it? And are you okay with working on this on future AI songs for Randy?
Okay.
And I was like, absolutely. I mean, it's not like he can still sing. You know what I mean? He's unable to sing, and he wanted my help in doing this. And I mean, of course I'm going to say yes, I mean, anything to help a legend, a hero of mine. So that's kind of how I thought about it. And I knew that it was going to be a big deal because this had never been done before. And so, yeah, they CBS Sunday Morning did a whole story about it. And it was really cool. And I'm really, proud to have been a part of that.
Yeah. So whenever that song came out, I being interested in AI and how it's progressing and the things that it can do, and some things, look, I don't like certain things that it does very well that takes away from creatives, but this is what I say, and I keep telling myself this, that it's a tool, not a replacement. And with the creation of the song and using AI into help it come to life and be more like Randy, like where does, I guess I'm trying to make sure, like, how do we make sure that other artists, like this technology, obviously a lot of people have access to AI and then music generating programs and,
Yeah.
auto-tune and all these different things. How do you make sure that somebody doesn't just try to release a song that, isn't?
Well, it's like the Wild West with AI right now. It's very new,
Yeah.
and so there are a lot of gray areas, and I think for me in this particular situation, Randy gave his okay to do it. I mean, he had his hand on it, the whole time, and in other cases where, let's say, the artist is no longer with us, or it's just like a money grab for the family or whoever, I think that's probably not the best way to use AI. But I think in this one particular case,
Yeah.
and so to further explain what Kyle did was he sent a bunch of called vocal stems from Randy's songs throughout his career. And he sent them to this team of programmers, I guess, in London, and they built a special AI model just for Randy using those vocal stems, and that's how they process my vocal through that.
Okay,
Yeah.
So I want to go back to, this is a song that you sang, you recorded.
Yes.
Okay. That AI essentially took and adjusted your voice to be closer to Randy Travis.
Correct.
How weird is it for you to hear on the radio when this song does play, or whenever you hear it, knowing that the artist's name, it says Randy Travis, but you probably hear yourself at some degree.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. There's just certain little nuances, that I can hear, that I know is me, And I think it's cool. I'm proud of it, and I think it's just a really cool kind of side project I never thought I would be involved in. So, yeah.
So on the way here, I was telling my son, who I was going to be interviewing, and I said he helped create, some songs with another country music artist, and really cool stuff with AI, and I'd let him listen to the song. And I've heard the song many times, but for some reason, because I was in the thought process of having you come on, and of course, the Randy Travis connection was there, I played this song for him in the car on the way to drop him off to camp. And the very first notes of a voice, I heard you, like the very second, but then it feels like it shifts to more of a Randy Travis vibe. And I'm like, okay, but I swear, obviously if I didn't know you,
Yeah.
and have heard other songs that you've done before, I'd be like, this is Randy Travis.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to the untrained ear, it's Randy Travis for the most part.
Yeah.
But like for me, I was like, okay, that sounds like James. But I get it. It was trained. There's some editing happening. I mean, that's gotta be such a weird feeling to have a song that you recorded, but has been, for the lack of better words, altered.
Yeah.
To fit. I mean, it's gotta be a proud moment for you, at least, to know that it's
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, Randy Travis put it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not a coincidence that I just so happen they chose that song. We do have similar tones. I mean, he's one of my heroes growing up. So I did try to
so you probably emulated a lot of his music.
His sound influenced my sound basically, and so that, and so the touring together and all that stuff that we've been doing. It was just completely unrelated, I guess, to this other project, but in one way it came together. I don't know. It's really bizarre.
Yeah. So from what I understand, is it essentially a tribute band to Randy Travis?
No, actually, it's his original band.
Okay.
It's his touring band.
So it's his band.
Yeah.
But you fill in as the singer.
Correct. It's actually, they treat it as a Randy Travis concert, just as it was pre-stroke. The only difference is that I'm singing and not him, but he is still on stage the whole show. He's, he does meet and greets before, signs autographs, all that stuff. So, and we're doing all of his hits, all of the 16 number ones plus a few more.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, man.
We've been trying to get it to Louisiana but it's so far no luck. But I think we should do something. I don't know, the Hyman Center or somewhere around here. We could do something.
Yeah. Oh no. I think something can happen, and it would be really cool, especially if it would be in the Lafayette area. I feel like, and this is kind of, a left turn real quick, but when artists look at Louisiana, and I'm pretty sure it's not the artists themselves specifically, it's probably their agents and event coordinators, all the different layers.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they look at Louisiana, I feel like there's only 2, maybe 3 places that they look at as possible places for them to go, and they completely skip over Lafayette.
Yeah.
We have the Cajun Dome, which can fit a large amount of people. I mean, a country music great, Garth Brooks, performed here for like a whole weekend, like 3 or 4 different shows, and sold out every single time.
Yep.
But I feel like the normal spaces people, artists go are the Shreveport Bossier area.
Yeah.
New Orleans, the Superdome.
Yep.
Okay, or is it the Caesars Superdome now? Or, depending on the artist's vibe, they go to the Lake Charles area because of the casinos.
Yep.
What's wrong with Lafayette? Like, why just completely skip over it? I feel like we have like the best of both worlds of attracting people from the East and the West to the center of the state, and a bonus for those people is they get better food.
Exactly.
I don't understand.
It's better food, and you're on I-10. I mean, it's not like you got to. It's not you're going out of the way. It's right on I-10. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that is.
Well, I feel like you have enough pull in the series, the band, to maybe.
I've been trying.
You've been trying.
Yes, I've been trying, and it's something still may be in the works, but
okay.
Yeah.
So, with your connection to Randy Travis, which is really cool, by the way. I mean, I know the guy can't sing anymore, but he is still a living legend, and
very much so.
Yeah, and like obviously you have a lot of history with him, and of course before that with admiring his songs and his style. Are you guys going to pursue this world of recreating some of his songs, or like releasing songs that he may or may not have written in the past that just was unreleased? Like, what's the next step look like? Is he going to release more?
So after he has 2 songs that are out now that were used.
Okay, so there's some after
with
the
AI.
fact.
Yes.
Okay.
There's the newest song came out earlier this year called "Horses in Heaven," which I was also a part of, and then there's another one. I don't know the timeline on the release, but there is a 3rd song that we did. There was initial talks of doing an album like that, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that's going to happen anymore. But yeah, that's pretty much as far as I know. I don't know how much further they're going to want to take it,
Yeah, yeah. How old is Randy Travis right now?
He was born in '59, so
okay.
He's.
That's not crazy. I
mean,
what,
he's in his 60s.
Mid 60s, roughly. Yeah, man. I know this is, kind of a sad way to think about it, but I all the country music legends that I grew up with in the 90s, late 80s, 90s, they're getting older, man.
Yeah.
It's
we've already lost a few, and they're getting older.
I mean, Toby Keith, that was a hard hit.
Yep. Joe Diffie, right after COVID started, that was a surprise there.
Yeah, and then I don't know if I would call Jimmy Buffett a country music guy, but somewhat
Yeah.
ish. You know, that guy, and then I think Willie Nelson's still kicking it, right? Like,
I don't know what he's got it figured out.
it's
Man.
the weed, bro. It is the weed that'll keep you going, I guess. Yeah, man, it's been an interesting thing to see. George Strait, I mean, that one, Alan Jackson, that one for me,
Yeah.
that one's hitting.
Yeah.
Because I love almost every single song Alan Jackson has ever put out. It's just whenever I think of quintessential '90s,
Yep.
like upbeat country music, Alan Jackson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just-
so many good songs. So
Yeah.
many. And he always seems so genuine, you know, like as a person, as an artist,
So
everything.
you've met him in person?
I've never met him.
Aw, man.
Like, yeah, I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
I guess he just kind of stays to himself when he's around Nashville. I never bumped into him ever in Nashville. So, but yeah, he's another one of my heroes. You know, like Randy and Vince Gill, a lot of big voices. You know, that came
Yeah.
from the '90s.
All right. So now I want your take on where country music is headed at the current time. Obviously, I feel like there's two different paths that country music is on. There's the traditional path, which I feel like is rising up. There's a swell of even TikTok country music artists that are channeling the raw '90s vibe. But mainstream is doing something a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We all know Taylor Swift. We lost her. Okay. we that's been gone.
Uh-huh.
Whatever. I feel like that was a bait and switch, but neither here nor there. Jelly Roll.
Uh-huh.
I struggle to see Jelly Roll as a country music artist. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's because my genre, my vibe, my country music taste is that '90s traditional vibe with a little bit more upbeat. Like I love Kenny Chesney. I love that like islandy kind of lore, but
Yeah, big Chesney fan.
dude, but Jelly Roll, something about, and he's a good guy. I can tell. Like he seems genuine. He seems like he's got a good character, but I just can't connect with
Yeah.
the style of country music that the industry is saying that he is. I don't know.
Well, you know, I'll be honest. I haven't really listened to a lot of his music, but the little bit that I've heard, I do feel like the country genre in general has kind of broadened its definitions. You know what I mean? But so you have guys like that. I feel like Morgan Wallen, who they write a lot of raw lyrics. I mean, the you know, just like not dark, but like just real. You know what I mean? Real stuff.
And that resonates with people.
Yeah, and then you have the other side of it. You know, like a new guy like Zach Top, who is basically like, you know, Clint Black or Joe Diffie. You know, all in one. You know what I mean? And it's just more about like, you know, the fun, the vibes, and the, you know, just a little bit lighter, I guess, and more and fun. And I think that I don't know which one's better, you know, but I think that I think that country music is heading in a better direction than it was, let's say, 10 years ago.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Well, we are at about an hour, so you have another song that you want to do. What is this one for?
So this one's going to be on the It's All Happening album, and I chose this song because I'm a huge fan of John Fogerty, and I got to meet him when I was on The Voice, and we did a song called "Fortunate Son" together that he wrote, and so I covered this song on this new album because of my love of John Fogerty and his songs. So anyway, I want to do this one for you.
And you want to pull the mic up. That bottom one, yeah.
This one, yeah.
There you go.
There we go. All right. So I'm sure you'll recognize this one. Long as I remember, the rain's been coming down. Clouds of mystery pouring, confusion on the ground. Good men through the ages, trying to find the sun. And I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain? I went down Virginia, seeking shelter from the storm. Caught up in the fable, I watched the towers grow. 5-year plans and new deals, wrapped in golden chains. And I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain? Heard the singers playing, how we cheered for more. The crowd had rushed together, trying to keep warm. Still the rain kept pouring, falling on my ears. And I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain? Still the rain kept pouring, falling on my ears. And I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain?
Ew. That one is a hit. I love that song.
Thank you.
And I've never heard it any way other than the one I Creedence Clearwater Revival, right?
Yeah, Creedence, yeah.
I've never heard it any other way. So that is really cool.
Thank you.
Man. Dude, this has been a really fun episode. I loved having you on and seeing the success you've had with music and you continue to have, and the connection with Randy Travis. That's just amazing. And it feels good to know that we grew up in the same area, but it's just, two people can have totally different paths in life. And it's nice to, I've been wanting to have you on for a long time, but I was like, I know you're busy. I was like, and to be able to make this happen was really cool, because I remember working at Winn-Dixie with you. That was such a wild time.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, gosh.
Well, thank you for having me, though. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, thank you for agreeing to come on. And it's good to know that you're back in the Lafayette area, touring around. I look forward to seeing what else happens with you guys, and hopefully you can get that Randy Travis tour through Lafayette. That'd be really cool.
Oh, man, I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah, man. Well, again, thank you for taking the time out to come onto the podcast, and I hope to see success and your success and all that comes with it.
Thank you.
All right, y'all have a great weekend. Again, James, thank you for coming on. I hope you have a great weekend as well, and we'll see you guys on the next one.